specific results and values. If they find something that they are not really sure of, they also can leave a comment on an exact object to let the model builders know that there's something wrong or maybe slightly strange to them. These two groups are within the application divided into two write groups. So there's the editors for the model builders rather, and the viewers for the stakeholders. Looking into the workflow a little bit closer, we had these 4 steps: data preparation, data creation, dashboard publication, and the feedback. For the data preparation, you need to set up data structures within the web application and then export data from PTV Visum. The dashboard creation basically consists of adding widgets to Canvas and visualizing the uploaded data with the tools that are there. We will see them later on more in detail. And then for the publication part, inviting the viewers to your product so that they can look at the dashboards, and using the comment function to collect feedback, and then loop it all back to possibly update the data for the dashboards to develop the project further or even create new dashboards. On the PTV Visum side, the export consists of 2 different data sets. The first data sets are network objects, well known in Visum speech, and trajectories, which can be displayed as moving and animated dots and trails later on in the dashboard. For the network objects, it's possible to select any set of attributes. Here you can see an example for links. And automatically, the geometry of these network objects is exported as well, so that it's always possible to display it in a map, which is the most important visualization in terms of transport models. It's also possible to reduce the data set by only exporting active network objects, since you don't always want to export the whole range of the transport model. For the trajectories, there are 3 different types that can be exported. The first one is written from the public transport timetable and consists of vehicle journeys and stops. The second one includes ride-sharing tours and trips that can be then displayed. And you can also write trajectories from simulation-based assignment results in terms of vehicles and signals. This data can also be restricted, and a fixed set of attributes is exported as well. The restriction is in terms of the time range, active objects, and links. After you exported the data, it will land and be available in the web application. So we need to go to the browser. I hope you can see my browser now. And we will go to the application itself. Right now, it's still a bit tricky to know the URL, but if you know it, you are asked to log in with your credentials for the product. And once you are signed in, you can see the different project portfolios to organize your data in. For today's presentation, I created this project portfolio, which holds, as every other one, my data, which is structured in models, and the dashboards. The models contain scenario folders that need to be created manually before uploading the data and can be selected from the export dialog within Visum. And a scenario then shows the data sources within it once they are uploaded. For this scenario 2019, I already uploaded a network that we can work with. There are several different net objects that I uploaded, for example, line route items, the list of matrices within the model, zones and links, and also some trajectories which were concluded from the timetable. You see they are ready to go and be used in a dashboard, and there's already a hint what the data can be used for. If there's a small table, it's attribute data that can be used for charts, and if there's a small map icon here, you can show these items on a map. And for trajectories, you have this small animated icon. Within the model, I created some scenarios that can be later on compared in the dashboard, but we'll move to that on a later point. So I'm going to create a dashboard with you so you know what you can do with the data. Once I create it, I can enter it, and the dashboard basically consists of a white canvas and some control sidebars to edit the content in it. The most important one is the right sidebar, and since it's empty, we want to add something. And adding things to the dashboard means you choose different widget types and arrange them on your canvas. There are several different ones. The first ones are the charts, then the map widgets. You can add some text to explain the content or titles, and there's a data switch, which we'll get on to later on. Starting with the chart widgets, I'm going to click on column chart here, and as soon as I do, a widget pops up in my white canvas. The first thing that I need to do is to choose a data source. So let's choose the list of matrices within the model, and I'm going to create a diagram to show the demand by transport system. So I choose the name of the matrices to go on the x-axis and the overall sum of the matrices to go on the y-axis, and the diagram and data is directly loaded here to the left. I can add an explanational title, demand by transport system, and show or hide the labels. I think this is explanatory enough. The same works also for the line chart, but more interesting are the map charts. There are two types, the animated one, which we will get started with. Here's the same. The widget appears and you are asked to choose a data source below here. I'm going to choose the timetable data that I previously uploaded. And the basic concept of these map widgets is that you can add layers to it to create your visualization. In the case of a timetable like data, I would suggest to use the trail layer and choose the object vehicle journeys for it. Then you already see there's the vehicle trajectories showing. And I want the color to be based on the transport system, for example. And I'm going to pick a color scheme accordingly. Besides the vehicle journeys, I can also represent the stops in the same animation by choosing an object type stop here for this point layer. And I'm going to color it in green and can also classify the size, and I'm going to choose the passengers transferring at the stops to see how busy they are. So saving my dashboard, I can see here my trajectories moving through time in my visualization. To show you the other types, I created a dashboard previously. Here there are the public transport vehicles back again in Karlsruhe. But you can also show the simulation-based assignment vehicles, for example, like this one, where you can zoom quite closely in to see how they behave here on the highway crossing. And for the ride-sharing vehicles, it could look something like this, where you see the vehicles moving around in the network as dots, and their number of trips, so people sitting within the vehicle, is used for the color coding. And if there's somebody in the vehicle, they have a small trail behind them. That was it for the animated part. But most data in transportation models is static, especially for evaluating if the base and input data is correct and the output. So I just added a static map widget. And here the concept is very similar to the animated map widget that we saw previously. You can add layers to it. The layers that you can choose from are a lot more. There's the 3D bar layer, the line layer that you can pick, and the line bar layer, which is really similar to the bar layer you already know from PTV Visum, to show polylines that were uploaded as geometries. And you can use the prism layer, for example, for zones, territories, and poise, if needed, to represent polygons. And the point layer can be used for point geometries in the map. I'm going to choose the prism layer since I uploaded some zone data, which I have to pick here. And as soon as I do, I see my uploaded zones. And I want to color code it by the attribute number of residents, which I want to have input from my customers. So I'm going to color code it like this. And I want the height to be based on the number of workplaces. So I see where there's a lot and see how they interplay with each other. I also can choose for the height a custom mapping, which gives me some insight on the data set if I don't have in parallel a Visum version with the model open. And it shows me the distribution of the values. So for the zones, the number of zones with a value for the workplaces between 0 and 500 is really high. So there's only a few zones that have a really high number of workplaces. I can use the slider to adjust this, but I also can use here the editor to do so if needed. If I want the people to see more of the map, I can also edit here the opacity. So the map is showing a bit more through and people can see more within and find places in the map. And I can also adjust the initial location if I zoom around in my map and see maybe I want to focus here on here because there's a high value, then I can also use the current location. You might have noticed that there is a legend appearing always. This is just an automatically created feature to help clarify what is within the map. If I now feel like this is still too much data, I want to drill down a bit more so the people looking at the dashboard focus on the important part, I can also add filters as an editor, and I can choose to filter this specific data source, for example, to drill down into the inner part of the city. And I know that the numbers are here between 100 and 300. So I'm going to add this condition right here. And you can see right here in the map, the data is filtered according to this filter, and for the viewer, they can only see this part of the map. There are a lot more visualizations that can be realized with this widget. For example, here I uploaded link data with the private transport volumes that were created from an assignment. And you see that this layer enables you to see the direction. And as every other map layer, it has the included feature that people who look at the dashboard can click on these specific objects and see the value of the link here and click around and investigate for themselves if they want to see what, for example, this critical link down here has as exact values. You can even create further enhanced dashboards by pre-calculating more within Visum. Moving on to this dashboard, which shows an example for a pre-calculated flow bundle of the public transport volumes for a major stop here, and showing then the flow bundle results here as link-based results. And this layer as well shows you the detailed values if you want to, and enables the person looking at the dashboards to see details they might not have seen directly within a presentation. The next example and last example is the most advanced, since it includes the last widget that I did not introduce to you fully. It is the scenario switch that can be added to every dashboard if you want to switch between data from different planning scenarios or time intervals. In this case here, I have data from the base year and two future scenarios and created 2 widgets, but it could also be more. And for the viewer and for me as the editor, I can use the switch to switch between these data sets and visually compare how they differ to each other. But I also can select here a zone prism, but also I could select any other object within the map to see the specific values and switch between them to see the difference. That was the major part on what can be done with these dashboards right now. But how do the viewers get access to them? Well, for sharing dashboards, you need to invite people to your product instance. They can automatically see, or to your product, they can automatically see all dashboards that were created previously. And we are not quite done for the invitation process, but I want to show you how it will look like in a small prototype. So the user management will consist of a list of people who are assigned to your product, and you can give them different roles. So people can change the roles, or they can create dashboards, or they can only view the dashboards. And inviting additional users, so viewers for the dashboards, is easily done by entering an email address and choosing the viewer as the right group and then hitting send. So your customers will get an email and they'll be asked to register and log in to see the dashboard, so they are protected and not open to everyone. Summing this up, they can be invited by email, log in, look at all dashboards, but not edit them, so they will stay the way you created them. And they can only comment, and commenting will look like this. They can look at values within the map here, again with the example of prisms, and then hit the comment button and just select the object that they want to comment and choose a category and leave a customized text to tell you, I'm confused. Why is this value the way it is? And this feedback loop can help to make the modeling process smoother. if you have multiple projects, it's also possible to hold different databases within the product. So you can have two totally separate databases that can be uploaded from different models and create different sets of dashboards for different stakeholder groups. Also, since the product is quite new, there are still some things in the pipeline, like a smooth invitation process that's not quite done, the internal integration, there's some internal integration, and we are planning to have some more functionality to edit the small object detail information to maybe show more than just have it only for a period of time. And it's coming soon. So stay tuned and follow us on all of our media channels to see when exactly you can start using it. That was it from my side. Thank you. Now it's time for your questions.
Thank you, Marianne, for this.
You're welcome.
Insight for this new coming product. We have gotten some questions, and I like to remember you all that are online. Please, you have the possibility to ask questions during the presentation. Of course, we will answer also your questions after the presentations. But we looked through it, so we had a couple ones. So I would like to confront you with those. I think
Sure.
one you actually answered already. The question is there a scenario management functionality planned so that you can compare different scenarios within one dashboard? And I think
Yes.
you nailed it in this sense. It was answered. So thank you for the question. Another was how many people can use such a dashboard at the same time? I think you said about inviting people to have access.
It depends on the package that you buy.
Okay.
It can be pretty many. I mean, numbers like 100 at the same time would be okay. But yeah, I would be really interested to hear about the project where so many people want to look at the dashboards. So please come back to me. I'm at the booth all day long.
Yes, great. And also we are in sales, so we would be, of course, interested to get a better idea how we can price this this access to the dashboard. Maybe another question. This is more about releases or the version control. One of the attendees said, I really like the idea behind this product and the opportunity to share model data easily. How are you planning to deal with the version control so that everyone works at the same up-to-date version?
The version of the dashboard, probably, or the version of the application? Well, it's a web application, so you'll always have the latest version. And the dashboards are created by the editor, so by the modelers. And if they don't change anything, they stay the same.
So
I hope this answers the question.
We actually got this question. Maybe we ask the one who posed this question to detail a little bit so that we can answer it if it was not satisfactory. And I think last one we picked is the idea behind this product to replace classic desktop products in the long run, or is it an add-on?
Right now, it's an add-on to kind of broaden the user base, since we can reach more people with our products, but also you can reach more people with transport models. This specific product is not supposed to replace the desktop product in the long run. But we'll see what the next years bring. And I heard that the next presentation is on the future of the product. So maybe you'll find some answers there.
Great. Thank you, Marianne, again, and also
welcome.
for the, let's say, introduction to the next. And yes, bear with us. And again, please use the questions option within the tool you are logging on. Thank you for now.
Thank you too.